Welcome back to Fishing for Men podcast, a part of Fishing for Men Ministries. Fishing for Men exists to help equip men, build community, and live lives transformed by Christ. We're so grateful that you have had the opportunity just to come take a listen, that you could be doing anything else. And we just thank you that you've tuned in. I am your host, Billy, for tonight, and we have another special episode. But before we jump into that, we've got the co-host with me in the room. We got almost a full house. We'll go over to my left.
It's Cody. Mike.
George is waving his hand really high in the air. He doesn't have a mic.
And Cole's here.
We are back with another test. We do have an extra mic. Hey, we do have one. We're back with another testimonial. We will be grilling Mr. Mikey O of his wonderful story, which is just really, really fascinating. And I think it'll be an encouragement. I think he'll get some cool perspective because Mike was not born here in the United States. And so we get to dig into his life story. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you to Mr. Mike. You were the person who just kind of dragged me in and were welcoming and a smiling face as I came back to church. Business and leadership group was the first place that I got plugged in.
Remember that.
And then you were like, hey, come on, we're going to Bible study.
6 a.m.
And so I just want to say thank you for being open, being a smiling face, being welcoming. And I want to call a few things out in you. One, that good stuff, not bad stuff. Good stuff is one, you are a connector. Like you love to bring people in and then connect to other people. You're a relator. You are persistent in the best way possible, and that you continue to bug people to keep coming.
It's called pushy.
I'm in sales, so I gotta be pushy, right?
But man, if you get the inkling that somebody is interested in coming to anything, you do it in such a compassionate way.
Agreed.
And then you are so service oriented and serving other people. Just even some of the stories over the past couple of weeks of you just going to spend time with people at the hospital is just awesome. And so I just want to say thank you for being a model for that before we even get started. So with that, anybody else want to say a few words about Mike?
I'll add. Thanks for pushing me to men's Bible study twice. The first time, I don't remember when, but then again, 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Also, your wife helped me.
I remember where I guilt trip you.
Do you?
It was right in front of the Welcome Center.
Yeah.
That door. And I was like, hey, when are you coming back again?
Yeah. And then you and your wife helped us buy and sell homes back in 2017. So we wouldn't be where we are without you, Mike. So thank you.
Some good times. Thanks for your trust, man.
All right, so wipe those tears away, and now tell us your story.
Okay. So if I sound weird, just because I've got really bad allergies tonight. So I was like, ugh. I'm born in Malaysia, so I'm the oldest of this group.
You are.
Yes, but I look the youngest.
You do. Those jeans, those beautiful jeans.
Oh, yeah. Those beautiful jeans, man. But I came to America when I was 21, and literally I left my hometown after my 21st birthday, because my birthday is on the 19th. I left on the 21st, and it was flooded, so my dad could not drive me to the airport. It's about 3.5 hours, so my sister and I had to take a train, because the airport is 3.5 hours away in the city. So I left the house. Didn't know if I was going to see my mom and dad, but they did show up at the airport on the 29th, I think. I flew up. That was it, and never went home for about 5 years. Back then, there was no internet, there was no video conference, so just phone calls. But America was my first trip on a plane, so that was my first plane ride. Yeah, it was weird. Didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Went to Oklahoma. So, when people say, oh, you're going to America, you think of all the New York City and San Francisco.
You went to a landlocked state.
Yeah. Yep. Went to a landlocked state that at 6 p.m. on Sunday, everything shut down. So in Malaysia, people think it's a third world country. You know, nothing's happening.
Sure.
But guess what? 9:30 at night, I'll be telling my mom and dad's like, hey, I'm going to go meet my friends for food, you know, and we don't get home till like midnight.
Yeah.
Oklahoma, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, graduated from Oklahoma, moved down to Texas for a job. Met my wife at OU, and I won't get into it yet, but, you know, met her there. That was a story of how I met her. That's for another day. But, yeah, we moved down here. So I've been in Texas since 97, 98, and been in this area for like 20-something years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Malaysia?
I guess it's no different than here, than, you know, all your kids growing up, because you don't know anything different.
Sure.
So I think if you have a chance to take your kids out of the country, do that and let them experience what not normal, abnormal is.
Mm-hmm.
My kids, they think everything is provided, and here is just, you know, I mean, it's easy. You take things for granted, but in Malaysia, same thing. We grew up thinking we have everything, but then you come to America, you'd be like, oh, they have everything here. Like
Sure.
literally, like the grocery store is aisles and aisles, and cereal, milk are luxury for us. And you have a bazillion choices of cereal and milk. So, you know, little things like that. I see my mom hand wash clothes. We do have a washing machine. We don't have a dryer. It's all, you know, like, what do you call those? You hang it up to dry, like
Clothesline.
on a clothesline.
Clothesline?
Yeah,
Yeah.
on a clothesline. So I used to help my mom.
Did you use your washboard abs?
Oh yeah. Yes, we have a washboard, not my abs.
That's your abs.
But yeah, you know, things like that, just very different. Now that I go back to visit, it's very westernized too. So there's no difference anymore. You know, everywhere we go technology is everywhere.
Now, growing up, have you always been a Christian?
No. So my parents, they're Buddhist, Taoist. It's kind of weird. I don't know how to explain. It's kind of like they kind of mashed the Buddhism and Taoism together.
Okay.
Buddhism, you know, you have all the monks and
Sure.
that, you know, that they would go to a temple where the monks are, and then they would go to a temple where all the other deity gods are. So in Taoism, there's always God for everything. God
Okay.
of the sky, God of the
Yeah.
land,
Everything's
God of the
deistic.
kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So growing up, there's a lot of those. So, you know, I see my dad every morning. He'll get up before he goes to work, and he'll burn incense and pray to the sky god, to the God of the land. And then he'd go to work, and at night, same thing, you know. So that's like twice a day. And then every full moon or every 1st and the 15th of the Chinese calendar, there's offerings.
Okay.
And then if there's a God's birthday, there's another offering. So,
Wow.
yeah, so it's like there's always something going on. So yeah, that was my quote unquote religion. But growing up in Malaysia, Islam is the national religion.
Okay.
Like in America, you don't have one, right? Because it's freedom of religion. But in most country, they do have when you're born, in your birth certificate, you actually say what race you are and what religion you are. So mine technically says Buddhist. So if you look at my original birth certificate, it says Buddhist.
Can you cross that out now?
Well, it's a Malaysian birth certificate. I'm American citizen now, so doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of weird looking back. It's like, oh yeah,
Sure. So you've got a Buddhist background, a Taoist background, but you said you I'm assuming you learned Islam in school,
So
right?
we go to school. So you have a national school, which is run by the state, and then you have a Chinese school and an Indian school, because predominantly Malaysia, that's the 3 biggest race, and each of them have their own school per se. So my dad puts me and my sister. Well, actually, my sister goes to a convent, which is weird. So we have a Catholic church and a convent next to it, and they have a school. So my sister goes there. I go to another school. My brother goes to a Chinese school.
Oh, so y'all didn't all go to school together?
No,
What was it? Did they ever give you a reason for that?
I don't know. I think it's just something
Diversify
different.
your
Yeah.
kids.
Diversify.
By the portfolio.
Were
Yeah,
you,
there
were
you
you
go.
the smart one?
Want them to come out right.
Yeah, I guess you can say I'm the smart one because my sister's not here. But you know, in the national school, they teach Islam classes,
Okay.
and kids that are not Islam, you would get out of that class and supposedly go to your religion classes. But there was no teacher allocated for that. So the Chinese kids and the Indian kids were just hanging out, playing, you know, whatever for 30, 45 minutes. And this is all about at least 3 to 4 times a week. So my dad's like, what, you guys just sit and do nothing? So he went and talked to the teacher, the Islam class teacher, and said, can my son join? I'm like, oh. So he put me there for about 6 years.
Interesting.
So I learned about, you know, the Quran, learned how to recite the Quran. I don't remember anymore,
Sure.
but I used to be one of the best top students compared to the Muslim kids,
Wow.
which is kind of weird.
Do you remember at all? Like, obviously, your dad was not Muslim and didn't worship
Nope.
Allah.
Nope.
You know, how did you ever like have questions like growing up about it? Like, hey,
No.
I'm in Islam class, but my dad's like over here. Like,
No,
there's,
I
like,
mean-
My siblings
Murder.
are doing something else.
Well, that's one thing about growing up in Asia when religion, even though there's a national religion, but they're pretty open about having a freedom.
okay.
So honestly, my parents never said anything. We were never taught anything about Buddhism or Taoism. It's
Okay.
not like a class, not like in Christianity where you go to Sunday school.
Yeah.
So no, it's just, you know, and there was one year that I started like, oh, you know what? I mean, you know, I'm learning all these things about Islam. I guess I need to pray 5 times a day. So I went home. I told my dad, hey, I'm going to pray 5 times a day. So, you know, start doing that. And nobody objected. And if I wanted to convert to Islam, they would be fine too. I mean, I have a friend whose brother, so my friend is Chinese, but the whole family is Methodist. So the oldest brother married a Muslim girl, so he had to be converted. So up until today, he's older than me. He's still a Muslim man, but he's Chinese Muslim.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll get more to that when we get farther in the story here. When was that first moment that you're like, I think I need to go to the U.S. or I want to go to the U.S.? Like,
Well,
when did
it's-
that point happen for you?
It's mainly because, and you guys will appreciate this, you know, talk about racism and stuff and things like that. I just chuckle, you know, back in 2020 and stuff. In Asia, it's just a way of life. Like they would say, the university allocation for students, they have, let's say, 100% of enrollment, 50% goes to the Muslim kids, and 50% goes to the non-Muslim kids. So then you have the Chinese and the Indian, and then you also have like the Spaniard, because Malaysia was conquered by Spanish at one point, and then there's British. So there's like foreigners, and the kids grew up there. So you got to fight for those spots, right? So you got to be pretty good, top whatever in school. And even though you get into the school, you may not get to study what you want to study. It all depends
Okay.
on what is available. So, not the sharper's tool in the shed. Luckily, my dad was able to send us overseas. So, a lot of folks that if they can, they will send their kids overseas to England, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, U.S., and they'll just go in because you're guaranteed to get in because you pay for it.
Okay.
So that's why I ended up in Oklahoma, is because that's the cheapest, and Dad has to pay for everything. We can't get a scholarship. We're only allowed to do work 20 hours a week in school because we have a student visa.
Okay.
So that's how I ended up in Oklahoma.
But you moved when you're 21?
Yeah. So after
Did you do 4 years at OSU?
no, so I started 2 years college in Malaysia,
Okay.
and then transferred my credit 2 years to Oklahoma and graduated from Oklahoma.
Got it.
What was like that? What was the biggest eye opener coming here after being raised in Malaysia for 21 years?
I think the freedom of doing anything, everything, saying whatever you want to say. You know, I mean, America's pretty great where you have all this freedom. You can't criticize the government in Asia. Now it's a little bit different because of the internet. You know, people can do a video and put it out there and then go hiding so that nobody come and catches you.
Sure.
Back in my days, you know, if you say anything wrong, well, yeah, good luck with that. There's no protest. I think growing up, I don't think I've ever seen anybody protest. I don't even know what protest is. If you don't like it, well,
You just got to deal with it.
just got to deal with it.
Okay.
Like we would have, for example, there are some, and you'll appreciate this, Cole, since you were in the loan business before industry. There are some loans, there's some housing that the Chinese or the non-Muslim cannot buy because it's only allocated to the Muslim,
Okay.
and some loans only for them, not for other races. And nobody protests. Nobody's like, okay, we'll figure it out. We go
Yeah.
figure out on our own.
Interesting.
Was there benefits to those houses? Like, were they preferential?
Yeah, they're cheaper and whatever. And then government subsidies are usually for the Muslims, for the Malays, and then the non-Malays, the Chinese and the Indians and foreigners, whatever. We don't get any of those. So kids going to college, same thing, and things like that. So it's just, and that's why, to me, racism, yeah, it happens everywhere, and you just adapt, and not to say you get used to it, but you just kind of deal with it,
So you get here, you're in Oklahoma. Are you still practicing as a Muslim? Like when
No.
Okay.
No.
Now?
Nope.
Where are you at from a religion, spirituality perspective when you get here?
Definitely Christ follower. And it's weird how I got into it. So I moved to Texas after I graduate and got a job at Perot System back then. So we have friends that, so I was doing programming. So a friend of mine came and said, hey, you want to join us for Bible study on a Monday morning at 7? And I was like, don't know what a Bible study is, but sure. I always have this philosophy that I got to at least try it before I say no. So I was like, okay, sure.
We'll
I'll
come back to that and see if that's ever steered you wrong.
So, hey, I'm older and I'm wiser now. But I'm glad I had that mentality, because now I tell my kids the same thing. But I went to that. So they were doing a Bible study on Rick Warren's book, 40
Purpose-driven life?
Purpose-Driven Life. And it just, bought the book. I'm not a big reader, but I bought the book and I read it and gave it to my wife. She read it. Nothing really happened. But it just kind of stuck in my heart. I was like, hey, there's a purpose in life. So that's when I think my wife and I, at the time, we were married. And
She was not a Christian beforehand.
no, so her family, that's another whole separate world, because I just recently found out that there's a lot of things that she doesn't know, even though we live in the same country and we're both Chinese, and she doesn't know a lot of stuff.
Careful, you're being recorded, Mike.
Well, she said she wanted to listen to this one. So.
She did.
Hey, So, no, but her family, I think it's Shintoism, some Japanese.
I don't know if I've heard of that one.
Yeah, so I think I don't know. I didn't look into it, but from my understanding is that it's almost like an energy thing
Okay.
that they would have on their service. They would have you sit down and not to say lay hands on you, but they put their hand close to you and chant. And supposedly they're moving energy and get rid of bad energy type stuff.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know. So, but she was into it, and then when we met and we read the book, and one of the things we started watching Joel Osteen on TV on Sundays.
How much
So-
money did you give to the church?
0. So I'm like, I'm not giving my money to anybody. So, but at the end of the Joel Osteen sermon, he always says, if you don't have a local church, you should go find one. So my wife says, okay, well, guess we'll find one. So that's how we found Hope. Long story short, we went to first Sunday, we went to the wrong church because it was a building. We walked in, we thought that was Hope, but no, Hope was meeting in an elementary school. We didn't know churches exist in elementary school.
Yeah.
So, when growing up, we see churches, it means there's a building.
A building,
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah. So we went to the wrong one. Didn't quite like it. People weren't as friendly. So the next Sunday, she found Hope. Oh, she was actually looking up churches that were doing the purpose-driven sermon. So that's how we found Hope. So we walked in, found Hope, and been there since. And that was how we found Hope.
So Hope's the only church you guys have ever gone.
Yeah. Well, it was the second church, but
Yeah,
the first one was
Oh, whoops.
a whoops. Yeah, we weren't in. That was not our intention to go
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
We just never.
Now, did y'all have, given that you have multiple religion backgrounds, did y'all ever talk about this before you got married, during your marriage, before you were ever even introduced to
No,
Christianity?
I don't think at 20 something. I don't think it was in our mind.
Sure.
It was like, all right, let's buy a bunch of properties and be a slumlord and make money and cash cow and blah blah blah. I mean, just pretty
Sure.
much make money and try to get rich.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, looking back, I really appreciate reading that book because it gives us a different direction of really why we're here. Mm-hmm.
It really is a good book.
Yeah, it is a good book. So all the listener, if you've not read the book, go get it. Rick Warren, Purpose Driven. It's an easy read. I mean, dude, I don't read books. I'm not Billy. Billy reads a book like
It's a little nugget every day.
Yeah,
thing.
I think he reads one book a day or something.
No. I got 4 kids now, Mike. I ain't got time for that.
But yeah, that's
If I
the
do it right
reason-
though, and they all start reading, I'll just give them my books to
There
read,
you
and I'll
go.
just take them in.
Yeah,
Right?
take him in. Yeah.
So you mentioned that. So you read this book, and you're like, there's purpose to life.
Yeah, and
So before that, you didn't feel like you had.
No, I mean the word purpose didn't really come in mind, and I think that's kind of how people are, being American or being whatever religion you are. I mean, do you have a purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where it got me curious about, okay, what is this purpose? So one thing that if you ask my wife, I think she'll say that somehow she sees some kind of a change in me and how I treat her. Because we've been married 25 years. Woo-hoo. We just celebrated 25th last week.
Mm-hmm.
So she'll tell you that she saw something different in me after that. And that's what got her curious. So she read the whole book, and I guess that's kind of how we got started, trying to figure out what this Christian life is.
What did that look like for y'all? Because it's kind of cool that you got to do it together.
It was really what's the word? Like a lot of religion, it's all about me. Whether it's a religion or not, I mean, we're all selfish, right? It's always about me. So
Yeah.
when I was growing up, my intention of serving other is so that you owe me now, and when I need a favor,
Yeah.
I'm going to come to you kind of mentality. But then when I understood that there's a purpose in life, that's when, when you say good connector and all that stuff, it's just natural for me to I hear that you need this. Okay, I think I know somebody that, hey, so let me hang out and let me see if I can find.
Mike knows everybody. That's why I say that. He's got his Rolodex in his brain. He's like, I know a guy.
Yeah, I know a guy. But that's what, you ask what's the difference. I think that's the difference, is that when you figure out what your purpose is, it changes your attitude. I no longer see that I need to help people because I need something from them. Mm-hmm. Now it's more fulfilling when I'm done with something. Even though, yes, I question myself, This is a true story. A friend of ours is in the hospital. Been in the hospital for a couple of months, in and out, in and out. In fact, he just got back tonight. But last week when he was at rehab center, I brought his stuff to him, took his stuff back to do laundry, bring it back to him. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so exhausting. And it was, as I was walking out, leaving the rehab, another lady from Oklahoma was there too, because of a family member was there. And we got talking. It's like, oh, where are you from? Oklahoma. I was like, all right, be careful when driving stuff. And then she's like, you have family here? I was like, no, just a friend. We're just helping. And she said something that really touched my heart. She's like, oh, you're such, your friend's such lucky to have you as a friend. Because that day I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. Because I haven't done much. I mean, like my personal things, and I just, have to keep helping him, right? But that really confirmed that, hey, there's a reason why you're doing this, and it's not just for you. So every now and then, God will help to remind me what my purpose is. So, that's why I think that's the main difference. The other thing is, and you guys probably heard this, like Christianity is the only religion that the King or God comes to earth and die for you. Other religion, if you go study it, and I'm not like a theologian or anything, but looking back, Buddhism, Taoism, Islam, the ones that I've had experience with, it's always about how I can appease God. Muslim, pray 5 times a day, fasting, try to be good so that you can get to heaven. Buddhism, it's the same thing. You did something wrong, bring offering. Hopefully that next time when you get reincarnated, you will go somewhere. And Taoism is the same thing. It's like, oh, it's a prosperity, like bless me, so I can, then I'm bringing offering so that you can bless me more. So it's always about me, or trying to appease the God so you can get something. But Christianity, you don't have to do anything. All you need is you believe that Jesus died for you on the cross. He rose 3 days later. That he's your salvation. And you just have to confess that.
Yeah, he gives you a gift.
Yeah. He's the only God or king that gives you gift instead of you have to bring gift or offering to him. And that was what's the terminology of like a reverse thinking? Gosh, I wish I had that. There was
It's not paradoxical, is it? No,
I don't know.
Is it that? No, I don't think so.
But anyway,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm curious then. You have all these backgrounds of these other religions. It's about me, this. Like, man, what was it like when you read that first time when you heard about what Jesus had done for you? So I think you have a very unique story that you have this background and you get exposed to this. Because I'm assuming when you grew up, like, did you have any familiarity with Christianity as a religion?
Yes, in fact, yes.
Okay.
I know what a skinny Santa looks like. So
we're not going to associate Santa.
Yeah, no. But a lot of folks that don't know Christianity, what Christianity is all about, that's what they would associate
Christmas
with Christmas.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because believe it or not, Christmas is a big deal in Asia. It's actually bigger than in America. Like
It feels like a pretty big deal. Like we started in like September.
Well, yeah, I guess we start shopping in September. They don't just shop; they decorate the whole street, the whole building.
Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, if you go to Singapore, there's a famous road, Orchard Road. People will drive from Malaysia just to go, starting I think November timeframe. They'll deck out the entire street with lights and stuff. And
cool.
Just like Legacy, right? They got all the lights and stuff.
Yeah.
But is the true Christmas story, is it integrated into that at all?
No, I didn't even know what Christmas Story was until start going to church. The only Christmas story is really Santa. We're just waiting for gifts, and they'll bring candy and stuff. That's about it.
Okay, so you have some sort of familiarity, but did you ever hear about who Jesus was or any of that? Okay, so like, what was that like when you heard for the first time?
For the first time, I read the Bible like a storybook.
Sure, it is a story.
Yeah, it is a story. So it was kind of like, okay, just like when you first, my first movie that I remember till today is Star Wars, because I went to the theater back in 81. I think it was 81.
That's when I was born.
Oh my gosh.
Was it in color, Mike?
Yes, fortunately it was in color.
Just know I was born 9 years after that.
That's why I said I'm the oldest here. But it's kind of like that, where you just, you read the story, you
Sure.
know the story, right? You know how the story ends. But you don't really truly know what it means to you until the Passion of the Christ movie.
Okay.
And for me, that was when, and I can clearly tell you all the scenes when Christ was being flogged, and this is kind of very, very gory, where you can see how his flesh was tore out from his back. If you haven't watched the movie, sorry, I just
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
I
alert.
passed out in that movie in the theater.
'Cause all
Yeah.
the blood.
Yeah.
Every time I watch or I remember that, tears come to my eyes. And that's when I really realized that there is really nobody that would die for me. Like somebody that's
Not just die the way he died.
yeah, the way he died, like so
Yeah.
cruel for me. And why? But it's because of love, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and God's love, we all know that, and that's how it changed my perspective. You talk about like, oh, so what do you know about Jesus? Nah, nothing growing up, nothing when I read the Bible until I saw that. That's when I truly realized that God is love, and that love, that sacrifice that He made for me, is just pure love that I cannot do anything to gain. It's a gift. And if it's a gift, how am I treasuring the gift? When I don't know if each of you guys have something that somebody gifted you that you really, really love, that you hold on to. Do I have one? I can't say I have one. And it's not like I, take care of it, take it out, polish it, whatever. No, I don't. I mean, but except for this love that Jesus gave me.
Sure.
Because it gave me a new life. But this was quite a few years after I came to Christ, read the Bible, did Bible study, learned from Hope about who Jesus is. But during that time, when we were in college, so back up before I moved to Texas, when we were in college, my girlfriend at the time, now my wife, we were staying in an apartment. No religion, no parents, so little R-rated. Of course, you know what happened, right? A guy and a girl in an apartment, living together, on the same bed, check up. So I got her pregnant, and I'm always the one that's like, I can do anything. I have a solution. So the solution was abortion. So in Oklahoma, back in the days, I think we started to have dial-ups, so you can go to internet. I think it was Netscape back then, the browser, and we found an abortion clinic in Norman, so that's where we were. Took it there, got that all done, went home, never talked about it anymore. But it was it was a very tough time for both of us, and we never talked about it. It was always me, and I remember me seeing her laying in bed crying. Mm-hmm. And we're like, okay, I'll just leave her alone. And it went on for quite a number of years. And then when I went to church, when we started going to church, and it really hit me when it's Father's Day. At the time, we didn't have any kids. But I remember driving to work in the morning, Father's Day, listening to radio, talk about fatherhood and blah, blah, blah. And I'll be sobbing in my car all the way down to work. And it just happened over and over again. Until one day we went to church, and when the pastor, before preaching, was praying, somebody laid hands on me. And I felt that lifted. That burden lifted. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, and that's why I can talk about it now, because to me it's part of my story, right?
Sure.
How I got saved is because to me it's like I had a second chance, and I don't want to mess it up. So today we always tell our kids, we have 4 kids. We have 2 here and 2 in heaven. Ming was born, so we consider Ming second, and then we have a third one, which had a miscarriage, and then Shirley came along. So today, both my wife was just talking the other day. She's like, if we had the baby, he would have been 27, 28.
Wow.
Yeah. So, we're able to talk about it now.
And it sounds like you've shared that with your kids too.
Yeah, we do. We always tell them
That's
that,
awesome.
hey, there's somebody, Meng, you're not the oldest. Even though you're the oldest, you're not the oldest.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why, looking back, it's like God gave me that freedom. The freedom to know that even though I messed up, it's okay. He still loves me. And I think, the message is that we all mess up. I mean, I still mess up. But how do you see yourself after you know that you messed up? Right? And what do you do when you mess up?
How did you walk your kids through that
About what?
when you told them that you'd gone through an abortion? Like how did they receive that? And then
I don't think we told them that we had an abortion. We just told them
Okay.
that there's an older baby before Ming, and they never asked. And I think someday, and this is now they're older, 18 and 14, and they get about sex and stuff, and
Yeah.
that's when we still need to talk to them about it, which they know. But I think that's something that would be a great conversation to have.
yeah.
Is don't go down that path, and we ask, like my wife and I would talk and says, hey, what if Ming one day screw up and got a girl pregnant? I'm like, hey, we'll have the baby. We will be grandparents, because I think a lot of people, not to say that they're irresponsible, but I think a lot of times in that moment we don't know what to do, and we just try to find a solution.
Sure.
Sometimes the solution is good, sometimes it's not, right? And I think that's what happened to us is we panicked. We didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Only thing we know to do is abortion. It's like, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Let's
and
get
you
it.
might not have had parents that you felt comfortable to go back
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
And hopefully Ming and Cherie know
Yeah.
that y'all are there for them
Yeah.
if they run into that situation.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing is that there's no condemnation, right?
Yeah.
Because God didn't condemn me
Yeah.
for doing that.
Yeah.
No.
What a cool story to share about forgiveness.
Yeah,
That time
it is.
comes.
It is a forgiveness story.
So talk me through, so we talked a little about growing up. We talked about how, what that experience was when you first sort of came to Christ and what your experience was even after that. But like, let's do a little comparison. You always talk about old Mike. Like what's new Mike? What's new? Like, what did that change look like? Like,
So I told you growing up, it's always about me. If I help somebody, what's it in me?
Yeah.
Hey, now you owe me kind of thing. It's me. So that's one thing that's changed. Temper. I'm always very hot-tempered and yelling, screaming, because if you go and visit with my side of the family, you'll be thinking, are they arguing? There's a fight about to, break out? Because that's just how everybody is.
so you're like New Yorkers. You just yell at each
Yeah,
other.
I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously. But now that's kind of changed. Even though I keep telling you guys there's a Hulk in me. There's an Asian Hulk in me.
Is the Asian Hulk a different color?
No.
Okay. Still
still
green.
I imagine red. I don't know why.
That's a mutated
Yeah.
Asian. That's probably my son, because he has the same temper, and I tell him that too. So I know how I get triggered, so I know how to deal with it. I know it's not right, and if I did, then I feel like crap, and I would go and apologize. And I think that's the biggest is the humility.
Yeah.
I love the book of James where he talks about humility. it's very humbling, when you have to go and apologize to your kids, especially an older kid that they understand, like, oh, Dad, ooh, you messed up, and you have to go and apologize. Mm-hmm. That's the thing, is that God forgive us. Do we forgive ourselves? And if we did, how do we start over? And you start over by being humble and go and seek out reconciliation.
Yeah, it takes surrender.
Yeah, surrender. Yeah, so that's kind of what changed in me. And then also, life is very different to me now. It's not about, I get up, I got to go to work. Yeah, everybody has to go to work, put food on the table. But money is not something I hold on too tight. Even though we plan and we make sure that we don't spend frivolously. We do all that planning, but it's according to the Bible, right? We give 10%, we save, then we tithe and we give offering, alms, and stuff like that. But it taught us a generosity heart, and also it taught us it's not about us and how God can do things through us, which a lot of times we just look at things and it's like, okay, how, especially in our industry, real estate industry, is like how can things benefit us? So a lot of times, that business, that hope business that we do, we always tell people we're not when people see that the word business group, they think it's a BNI, where it's like a one industry type, so we can all come together and, pass businesses to each other. That's not the intent. The intent is to grow everybody, because that scarcity mentality is not going to get you anywhere. It's not God's design, So it has changed my mentality. And this is a true story, and it's been in my head for a long time. How long it is? It's at least 40 years. So my dad, we live about maybe 6 kilometers. Asia, use kilometers, you don't use miles. 6 kilometers away from where my dad's store is. So we had a family business. And every morning, he would wake me up at 6 o'clock and, all right, let's go open up shop and stuff. So we would go and drive, get in a 1961 VW, 2 doors, no seat belt, because it's 61. And we would go drive to town. So this one morning, as we were leaving our neighborhood, we literally saw a guy on a motorcycle get hit on the side of the road. And we were just passing, and in my mind, I thought my dad would stop. No, he just kept going. And I can never forget that moment, and it still lives in my head. And I felt so guilty. It's like, now that I look back, I felt so guilty that how come he didn't stop to help?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Holy Spirit tugging at you.
But here's the thing, is that he wasn't taught. Because in Buddhism, Taoism, there's not like, we sit down and read the Bible and say, okay, what does, this verse in the scripture means, and what does it mean in our application today? No, there's none of that. So it's like he was doing what he knows best, which is just like, hey, I got to go to work. Sorry, sucks to be you. So it's always in my head, thinking, why didn't he stop? And then I realized that nobody taught him to love. Nobody taught him to serve, right? I mean, he would serve, but I think there's a motive.
Sure.
Nobody taught him to serve without motive. And that's the difference, is that I think if you truly get what true love is, there's that humility, there's that generosity, there's that serving with no motivation.
Yeah.
Or, no motive. And that's really how it changed my life. Has it been easy? No, of course not.
What? When you convert, you don't get it's not all rosy and rainbow?
Yeah, I wish they would have a disclaimer on the first 2 pages of the Bible. It's like, hey, once you accept Christ, this is what's you should expect this to happen.
You might even get a target on your back.
Yeah. But but all of those is just perseverance. Like in Hebrew 12:1, talk about perseverance. Running a race and keep your eyes on Jesus, right? All to say that just because you're a Christ follower doesn't mean that life is going to go well. Mm-hmm. But I would say I'd rather live life going through valleys with God than with no God, because there's peace, there's hope.
Absolutely.
However we messed up, there's always peace and hope.
Are your parents Christians today?
No. No. The funny thing is he would he knows, because every Thursday morning on our Bible study, I would call him about 4:30 a.m., which is now it's 6:30 p.m. there. I would talk to him. It's like, oh, and then he'd be like, oh, you going to church today? I'm like, yep. So I would just, we'd just talk, on FaceTime as I was driving there to church. So he knows where I'm going. He's been to church with me a couple of times, and he loved the worship because he's never seen it.
Yeah.
So every time he comes to visit, he'll stay about a couple of months when he was younger. He's in his 80s now, so he doesn't come as often. He would go Christmas time. He loved Christmas time because all the carols and stuff. Because we hear all that in Asia growing up, right? The supermarket, malls and stuff, they play Christmas songs. So he loved to hear the live version of it. No, but they know. They know I go to church. I can't say that because we never talked about it. And it's weird because I can't translate a lot of this stuff that I know that's in the Bible word for word in our dialect, because I speak different dialects. And I don't know what the words are to them. So we never talk about Christianity. My mom has asked me very beginning when I started going to church. She's like, so are you giving your money to church? And, being a smart ass, I was,
You knew you were watching Joel Osteen.
So being a smart ass, I always tell her, I sold everything and give every penny to church. Just to mess with her. But that's the other thing is that's what they know about Christianity is like, they always give money. But they didn't realize, they don't understand why.
Yeah.
Because nobody told them.
Back to the Bible thing. Have you ever looked for a translation in your dad's language?
No, it doesn't exist. But there is a Mandarin version.
Okay.
I mean, like there's churches in Dallas, that have services in Mandarin. If you asked me to go to that, I would not know what they're saying, because they're like way above my pay grade.
Your dad would though, right?
Maybe. Dad didn't go to college. I think he finished high school. That's about it. My mom finished 6th grade. That's about it.
Wow.
Yep. So, it's unless somebody talked to him. I mean, more of a verbal type. I don't think he'll be able to.
Be like us reading the King James or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think funny thing is my younger brother got my mom a Chinese Bible one time, but I don't know where that went. It was when he was going to church too. That's a whole another story. But yeah, it's just, and I control my dad's YouTube account. So I thought about maybe I should play some videos.
Mess with the algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
A couple subscriptions plugged in there.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, actually, somebody at our Bible site actually suggested that. I was like, oh yeah, it's a good idea.
Oh my gosh, that'd be really funny. All right, well, thank you, man. Thank you for sharing. Is there anything as you thinking back on your own story that you kind of just leave listeners with?
There was a couple of things I want to mention. As we grew, as I grew in my faith, my walk, I started to read the Bible more and kind of understand what the daily application is. But beyond that, I start to memorize scripture that are meaningful to me. And my life verse is John 10:10, where it talks about the thief comes to kill, steal, and destroy, but I come to give you life. But don't stop there. It says abundant life. So every time I'm in a rut, every time something comes up in my life, I would go back to that scripture, because it helps me to remember that this is just a season. and that this rut that I'm in, it's not of God. It's the thief coming to rob me. And I need to go to the one that will give me abundant life. So that's how I kind of manage, through when things happen. And that's how I can have peace, even in death. I honestly, you guys might find this weird, but I would love to go dig a grave, like hand shovel, dig a grave. I think
I've heard you say that before.
yeah. And this is, I saw this video of a guy up in, I think in Washington State, that he was the town's grave digger. He was born there, lived there. He buried a lot of people.
WWE? Not that one? Or is
No,
that,
no,
that's Monster Trucks.
That's Monster Truck.
I was thinking of Undertaker.
Yeah, that's who you're thinking of.
My
Undertaker.
bad.
No,
Sorry.
no.
Undertaker and Gravedigger kind of work together.
I
now.
mean,
No, but Gravedigger is a monster truck though.
Yeah.
But this guy, that's what
gotta hit me.
That's what inspired me is like he said that at the end of the day, this world. I mean, Ecclesiastes talk about it, right? This world is meaningless. And so that's why I think having a purpose is good. Going back to scripture when you need it is good, and having hope and peace is good because I do have peace, and if I go tomorrow, I'm okay. Sucks for my family, but that's why I have life insurance. So at least my wife won't feel that bad.
And she also loves Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. So really, it's really if it wasn't for Christ, I think 25 years of marriage would be hard.
Oh,
And-
parenting would be hard.
Yeah, parenting would be hard, but parenting is just a season because we're now starting to talk about our son's leaving in about a couple of months, and I'm like celebrating because I don't have to. Yeah, a lot of times
No more Hulk out.
Huh?
No more hulking out.
Yeah, they're Hulk duels.
Yeah, I
Hulk
mean,
duels.
I had to suppress my Hulk, so that we don't have to go through it. So it's looking forward to that when we can spend time together, but also just knowing what are we gonna do. I mean, we can work all the time, but what's the purpose?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I think with God and one thing about marriage is and this I'm a visual learner, so when I see something meaningful, I'll have it in my head. You guys probably seen this, the triangle with God on the top and then men and wife on the side, like a triangle. And as you get closer to God, you get closer to men and women, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's always lived in my head that in order for us to have a successful marriage, we both have to be on the same page with God,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how we can have the best life, which we have. Now, is it easy? No. I mean, do we fight? No, not really. We argue. And then I have to shut my mouth because I was like, okay.
Don't we all?
Yeah, I know. And it's hard. And you know what? I love my wife. She said one thing that I really appreciate. She told the kids that, hey, everything that you guys ask, we have to discuss about it, but your dad is the final say. And I really appreciate you saying that because it really helps to live out that, that I'm the household, I'm the man of the house, but I'm not like a dictator.
Yep.
But she's there to support me, and it really helps to put in perspective with the kids.
Sure.
Like we work together. They can't play us like, oh, dad, I know dad's not going to give me this. I'm going to go to mom. No, it doesn't work that way in our house.
Yeah.
So that really helps us in our parenting as well.
Yeah. Well, man, thank you. Thank you for sharing
Yeah, appreciate it.
the good stuff. Thank you for sharing some of the dark places that I don't think a lot of people want to talk about. And so, listeners, I hope you gleaned something from that. I know one thing I took away is just the way in which, Mike, you got introduced to Christianity, which was through work.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
wow, like what an awesome just a reminder for us that we all have an opportunity because you don't know that what those other people are kind of going through. You don't know where they sit from a religion standpoint. You may be scared to even talk about it in your workplace, but like you're an example of somebody being bold enough to say, hey, look, I'm following Jesus and you should come do it too. And so I love that part about your story, but so much of it was just things I got to learn along the way. And so again, man, thank you. Thank you for sharing this. Guys, listeners, thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one. But until then, we'd be super grateful if you could just jump over to Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you might be listening to this podcast and leave us with a review. It helps us get more listeners. It helps listeners find us. Also, if you want to go check us out online at fishingformenministries.com or on Instagram or LinkedIn. But until then, we'll catch you on the next one.